You didn't even go to a vocational school, right? You went to evening school, didn't you? So what if I did? I've been with this company for many years. As a way to give back, I've contributed to this company. If you couldn't even attend a regular high school, you must be pretty dumb. Is that why you couldn't get good grades and ended up stealing money from the cashier? Or were you so poor that you couldn't afford a regular high school? If you're poor, it's understandable you'd want money. We don't need incompetent employees who graduated from evening high school. The president's son, who knows nothing about my contributions, mocks me. That's why you're getting transferred. Don't ever show your ugly face here again. I tried to explain, but it seemed he had no intention of listening to me. Listen, don't ever show up at this company or any of our stores again. Understood. This company is over. Rather than being transferred, I left the company and started a new business by myself. Unintentionally, this became my way of getting back at the president's son and his doting father. My name is John. I have a wife and kids, and I sell used cars. Now, I'm a respectable member of society, but I was a bit of a troublemaker in high school. You better get your act together. How many times do I have to tell you? Shut up. Stop nagging me about everything I do. Of course I nag. You're so irresponsible. It's embarrassing to have a husband like this. What did you say? John. Stop staring and get out of here. My parents weren't getting along, always fighting whenever they saw each other. What's with that face, John? Be grateful for what you have. Don't just stand there, you're in the way. You're not even working, so at least do the housework. I heard you're hanging out with bad company. Don't embarrass me. They were often not home, and even when they were, they would take out their frustrations on me. I never felt like I had a place in that house. John, wanna skip school and go to the arcade today? Yeah, let's go. Eventually, I stopped going to school and started hanging out at the arcade with my friends. By my sophomore year, I was barely attending classes. John, you skipped class again. So what? How can you speak to a teacher like that? If you don't straighten up, you won't advance to the next grade. I ignored the teacher's words, as they never asked about my situation at home or why I was skipping. Because of this, I didn't have enough attendance and failed. I ended up dropping out of high school. Dropping out, how embarrassing. You're such a delinquent son. You're not my son. Get out. Shut up. You two are always taking your frustrations out on me. I don't want to stay in this house anyway. I'll leave, as you wish. After leaving home, I lived a carefree life as a part-timer. John, are you a college student? No. I dropped out of high school, so I never went to college. Oh, I see. I'm sorry for asking. It's fine. You go to a nearby college, right? Yeah, it's the one near the station. I met Sarah, a college student at the time, at one of my part-time jobs. We were the same age and often worked the same shifts. I also like video games. Really? I spend my days off playing games and often go to the arcade. Me too. I go there with my friends a lot. Eventually, we started talking about personal things and found we had a lot in common. Hey, John. Yeah? Would you go out with me? Are you sure you want to be with me? Yes, I want to be with you, John. So, we started dating. Our relationship was going well, and even when we fought, we quickly made up. John. What's up? I went to the doctor today. Oh yeah, you weren't feeling well. What did they say? They said, we're going to have a baby. Really? I'm going to be a dad. Yes, and I'm going to be a mom. Not long after, Sarah was expecting, and we decided to get married. Sarah, I've decided to go to an evening high school. Evening high school? You know I don't mind, right? Yeah, I know. You've accepted me, despite my dropout and family issues. I'm so grateful for that. But I'm going to be a dad soon. I need to change. For Sarah, who accepted me, and the new life she was carrying. I need to be someone they can be proud of. So, I want to get a full-time job and support you and our baby. Okay. I'll support you. Thank you. After that, my days became busier. I chose to attend an evening high school because, with only a middle school education, my job opportunities were limited. So, I continued working part-time while attending an evening high school. I supported Sarah during her pregnancy, worked part-time, and went to school. Don't overdo it, okay? I'll be fine, I'm strong. But you need to take care of yourself and not overdo it. Alright, I understand. But really, don't push yourself too hard. Studying is important, but your health is more important. Got it. Even after our son was born, our routine didn't change. Alright, I'll change you now. Thanks for everything, John. It's nothing. I'm a dad, after all. But don't you need to start getting ready soon? Oh, you're right. I'll leave right after I change him. Okay. Be careful. I took care of my son, went to my part-time job, and then to high school. When I got home, I took care of my son again, studied after he slept. I had sleepless days, but for the happiness of my beloved family and our future, I persevered and managed everything. Eventually, I graduated from evening high school. Have you decided on a job? Yeah. When I was messing around back then, I saw a car that one of my old friend's brothers had, and I was really drawn to it. I can see that. You always liked those kinds of things. Right? So ever since then, I've been interested in cars and want to work in that field. I think that's great. I wanted to work in the field I fell in love with during my rogue days. I ended up getting a job at a used car dealership shop. The president of the used car shop was a dignified man named Sean Nichols. Mr. Nichols was strict and would visit the store to give thorough guidance to the employees. Make sure the sales vehicles are polished more thoroughly. This is dirty. Yes, sir. And the way it's parked is wrong. We can't sell cars like that to customers. Yes, sir. Just because they're used cars doesn't mean you can handle them carelessly. Treat each car with care. Move that car over there. Popular models should be parked here. Mr. Nichols is as strict as ever. Yeah, he is. It just shows how seriously he takes his job. He's not wrong about what he says, though. Oh, but apparently, Mr. Nichols dotes on his son a lot. Really? Yeah. They say he spoils him a lot. Despite Mr. Nichols being strict, there were rumors that he was extremely lenient with his only son, Justin. Thanks to the guidance of Mr. Nichols and the store manager, Mike, I learned the ins and outs of sales. Don't make me repeat myself. Always prioritize the customers. Yes, sir. Unlike the gentle and approachable Mike, I sometimes felt Mr. Nichols was too strict. But I got through it with the resilience I developed during my rogue days. Daddy, welcome back. Hello, Leo. Hi, John. How was your day today? Good, thanks, Sarah. Today, I dressed myself and folded my clothes all by myself. Really? That's amazing, Leo. Hee, I can help mommy a lot. Yes, he insists on helping with everything. That's great. You're a big help, Leo. Every night, I vow to work hard to protect my beloved, growing son. Almost 10 years passed since I started working at the used car dealership shop. Selling used cars had a different appeal compared to selling new cars, and I felt that this job was my calling. John, can I talk to you for a sec? Sure, I'm coming. I felt like an experienced employee at the store. You're really reliable, John. Am I? Thanks. By the way, I heard you were the top salesperson again. You're amazing. It's nothing. It's just the experience. You'll be able to do it too after a few years. John, you're like a big brother to us. So cool. Seriously. By the way, there's a rumor that you are going to be the next store manager. I'm not sure about that. Mike is still in his prime. I plan to continue supporting the company with the colleagues who relied on me. John. What's up, Jacob? Among my colleagues, the one who especially admired me was Jacob. He always asked me for advice and learned my work techniques. John, you're amazing. Please keep teaching me everything. Sure thing. Honestly, I used to get mocked a lot, but you took me seriously. You're exaggerating. That's why I'm sticking with you, John. He was always overly admiring. I also get along well with Mike. It was Mike who introduced me to this job. He saw me during my rogue days, always around cars. We often chatted about various things. Even now, during breaks, I got a lot of information from the well-informed Mike. Hey, John. What's up, Mike? You know about Mr. Nichols' son, right? Yeah. Well, it seems Justin has finally joined the main office. Really? Mr. Nichols must be pleased. Well, about that. According to Mike, Mr. Nichols, who doted on Justin, had suddenly made him an executive. Suddenly? Yeah, he made him the head of the General Affairs Department. Head of the department right away. Mike said that Justin had looked through the employees' resumes to see what kind of people worked there. Is that even okay? And how do you know so much? I've known them for a long time. I even have a contact with Justin. Mike had been close with Mr. Nichols' family for a long time. He had known Justin since he was a child and had even listened to things Justin couldn't tell his parents. He told me himself, and there's something that's bothering me. What's bothering you? Well, most of our employees are vocational school graduates, college graduates, or regular high school graduates. But you graduated from evening high school, right? Yeah, that's right. He asked me to confirm that. Just be cautious. Got it. Though I found it odd that he specifically confirmed my education background, I had a bad feeling about it. Little did I know that this would become a reality. Mike told me that Justin had been teased as a kid because their business was in used cars instead of new cars. His friends said, "Why not new cars? Can't you get new cars, so you only sell used ones?" It's understandable kids would say that, but it must have been tough for him. Yeah. Because of that, he believes that having many employees with low education levels is why the used car business is looked down upon. That's not true, though. Exactly. But he's held on to that belief since childhood, and it's hard to change. Indeed, if he's believed that since he was a child, it might be hard to correct. Until I met Sarah, I thought family was just a cold, distant concept. So, I've heard some bad news. Bad news? He's planning to get rid of anyone who graduated from evening high school. That includes me. Yeah. And he's also targeting employees with lower education levels. That's really troubling. So, just be cautious. He's the general affairs manager at the head office, so he probably won't do anything too blatant. I thought it couldn't be true, but Justin started making inspection rounds at various stores. It seemed my bad feeling was correct. After Justin's visits, my personal belongings would either go missing or get damaged. This time, it's a broken pen. The important stuff is safe in the locked locker, but this is becoming a hassle. Is this happening to you too, John? Judging by your tone, it's happening to you as well, Jacob. Yes. This time, the keychain my daughter gave me is gone. I thought I was being careful. This really gets to me. That's tough. We need to find a solution, but for now, keep your important things in the locker. There was another person at this store who was also being harassed in the same way. That person was Jacob. He was a high school graduate, and like me, his personal belongings often went missing. There were times when only my schedule was erased from the whiteboard where we wrote the day's plans. I had my schedule in my planner, so it wasn't an issue for me, but when I was out, my absence caused a commotion because my schedule had been erased. Everyone knew Justin was behind it. Sorry about Justin, John. It's not your fault, Mike. But we really need to do something before things get worse. Absolutely. Even if I talk to him, he denies everything. It's really problematic. There's no proof, and he's the general affairs manager. And he's the pampered son of Mr. Nichols. Any misstep and we could be fired. With no proof and facing the general affairs manager. He was also the doted son of Mr. Nichols, nobody dared to speak up. All I could do was hope nothing worse would happen. Around that time, discrepancies in the cash register started occurring at my store. The cash register doesn't balance? Wasn't it John handling it? It's his responsibility. What? That's impossible. Justin, John would never do something like that. Mike, stay out of this. As the general affairs manager overseeing finance, Justin blamed me. I'm just a salesman. I don't handle the cash register. Shut up. Who else could it be? Justin. I tried to prove my innocence. But Justin didn't listen to a word I said. You didn't even go to vocational school, right? You went to evening high school, didn't you? So what if I did? He looked at me with mockery. So what? If you couldn't even attend a regular high school, you must be pretty dumb. Is that why you couldn't get good grades and ended up stealing money from the register? Or were you so poor that you couldn't afford a normal high school? If you're poor, it's understandable you'd want money. That's not true. And we don't need incompetent employees who graduated from evening high school. His words cut me off, leaving me speechless. Sure, I graduated from evening high school, but I had contributed to this company for many years. That's why you're getting transferred. Don't ever show your ugly face here again. Justin. With a sneer, I was demoted by the authority of the general affairs manager. However, not everyone stayed silent. Justin. John is not to blame. We found the cause. The accounting department, with their persistence, identified the cause of the cash register discrepancies. It turned out that several credit card sales were mistakenly processed as cash transactions. It was Lynn from the accounting department who figured it out. This was a simple mistake by an inexperienced new hire. Additionally, it's due to our lack of proper training in the accounting department. So, please revoke John's punishment. So what? What? That doesn't matter. This is the responsibility of John, and the demotion stands. Why? Listen, don't tell anyone about this. If you do, you'll be fired too. This is unbelievable. Even though accounting reported to Justin, he buried the issue. He even threatened them with termination if they spoke out. Mr. Nichols. Please listen. It's you, John. What is it? I went straight to Mr. Nichols to plead my case. I'm not responsible for the cash register discrepancies. This demotion is unfair. But Justin decided on the demotion, didn't he? Yes, but still. It's not fair. Justin's decisions are never wrong. You're demoted. If you don't like it, you can leave. This can't be. Mr. Nichols, who doted on Justin, wouldn't listen to me. I had been with the company for 10 years. While I disliked Justin, I respected Mr. Nichols and felt indebted to him. But Mr. Nichols dismissed me, siding with Justin. Mr. Nichols walked away. In my despair, I couldn't follow him. I'm home. Hi. You're late today, did something happen? Actually, I immediately consulted Sarah after returning home. John. Yes? Do you still want to stay at that company after being treated like this? What? Haven't you done enough for them? Do you think so? Hey Sarah. Yeah? Is it okay if I quit? Of course. I can't stand seeing you treated like this. I'll always support you. So, instead of being demoted, I decided to submit my resignation. So, you're quitting. Good riddance. Is that so? Remember, don't ever show your face at the company or the store again. Understood. My resignation was quickly accepted. At that moment, I thought, this company is done for. John. Oh, Mike. I'm sorry I couldn't stop their reckless behavior. It's okay. You tried to help me. Thank you for everything. Soon after, I established a new used car dealership. Initially, I had to scramble for funding, running to various banks, but all my old customers came back, even though I hadn't tried to poach them. I heard a rumor that you started a new business after leaving that place. Their used cars are good, but I'm more drawn to your character, John. Thank you. I'd like to continue doing business with you. Thanks to their support, our sales exceeded expectations. John, could you check this, please? Sure. Thanks. Not only did my customers follow me, but Lynn from the accounting department, who had protested against Justin, also joined me. She couldn't tolerate Justin's tyranny and resigned to help with my new venture. Since I was mainly focused on sales, I was grateful for her handling the administrative side. Lynn, who had uncovered the real cause of the cash discrepancies, was an excellent employee. And there was another person. John, I'm heading out for sales now. All right. And remember, you can go straight home today. You have plans with your girlfriend, right? Ah, thanks. The high school graduate who had also faced harassment joined me as well. As a president handling business operations, I was short on sales personnel, but his active role in sales and training new staff was a big help. 2 months later. John, please, we need to talk. I'm begging you. Mr. Nichols and Justin came to me with desperate looks on their faces. Reluctantly, I invited them to the meeting room to hear what they had to say. Since you left, our sales have plummeted to just 10% of what they were. That doesn't surprise me. It was to be expected. These two didn't realize it, but I had been generating $10 million in annual sales. To be honest, I was the top salesperson by a wide margin. That's why customers followed me. Yes, that's true. I owe a lot to you, Mr. Nichols. I tried my best to contribute. You did. And I wronged you by demoting and forcing you to quit because of my son. Please forgive me. Mr. Nichols apologized tearfully. I'm truly sorry. I was wrong. I'm really, really sorry. Justin, clearly reprimanded by his father, apologized repeatedly. I judged you solely on your education and belittled you without considering your character or performance. Worse, I harassed you to make you quit. I know why you have a grudge against those with less education. Mike told you, didn't he? Yes. But you know there's a line between what's acceptable and what's not. Yes, I do. Gone was his arrogant demeanor, replaced with a subdued, remorseful attitude. Please, come back to us. I can't do that. I have my pride. I won't return to a company that harassed me and forced me out. Besides, I've already established this business. And it's doing well. I firmly rejected their request for me to return. I see. Mr. Nichols seemed to understand and didn't press further. They left with slumped shoulders. The back I once respected seemed so small now. John, she saw them here earlier. Oh, she saw them too? Lynn from accounting and Jacob, who had left the company to join mine, had become close and were now in a serious relationship. Planning to get married. They finally realized how much I contributed. Isn't it a bit too late? Yeah. They came to apologize and asked if I would come back. No way you'd go back, right? Of course not. They knew it was a long shot and didn't push too hard. I see. You know, I barely recognized them. They've changed so much. Yeah, they've probably been through a lot. We'll have to see what happens next. A year later. The Nichols used car dealership shop went bankrupt due to massive debts. Meanwhile, my used car dealership continued to thrive and grow. Some of the employees from Mr. Nichols' company, who had once admired me, joined my company. Thank you so much for taking in our employees. Not at all. I also want to express my gratitude. I was grateful for your company too. Besides, I couldn't abandon those who looked up to me. Thank you so much. Once again, Mr. Nichols and Justin came to thank me for taking in their employees. Seeing them show their gratitude, I finally felt I could forgive them. From then on, Mr. Nichols and Justin worked tirelessly to repay their debts. I offered them work through Mike. They're starting over and working earnestly. That's good to hear. Are you really going to help them? Yes. This is my final act of repayment. The two seemed to be working diligently, and after hearing about their work ethic, I decided to help them. Although the assistance was provided through Mike, they seemed to understand it was from me. As they became more stable, they gradually started repaying me. I'm sorry for all the trouble we caused. No, I should have stopped Justin's behavior. Can you forgive him now? Yes, I have forgiven him. I see. How about we go for a drink sometime? Let's invite him too. I'm okay with it, but will he come? We'll keep inviting him until he does. After many invitations, we finally had a chance to drink together. How's work going? It's tough, but thanks to you, things have stabilized. I'm really grateful, John. That's enough now. No, really, I'm thankful. I have someone I'm dating. Oh, really? When the company went bankrupt and I was in debt, we broke up. But she waited for me. Because you helped us, I could get back together with her. I see. I had a rough family situation. That's why I dropped out of high school. But then I met my wife, and for my son's sake, I went to evening high school and joined that company. I didn't know that. I worked really hard for my wife and son. I went through tough times for a happy future. So, keep working hard, Justin. I will. Justin changed, and he no longer looked down on people with lower education levels. We occasionally went out for drinks, and I was even invited to his wedding. Speaking of marriage, it was our wedding anniversary. Honey, I have something important to tell you. Something important? What's going on? Actually, we're going to have a second child. Really? That's wonderful. Am I going to be a big brother? Yes, you are. Yay! Sarah was expecting another baby. Then a baby girl was born. Sarah, you can rest. I'll change her. I'll help too. Thank you both. We received congratulations from Justin, Mike, and even a gift from Mr. Nichols. By now, most of their debts had been repaid. Everyone was working hard to find their own happiness. I had to keep working hard too. By the way, a customer mentioned something. What about? You told them about our company. Got caught, huh? Well, I figured that company was doomed when you left. Mike, you thought the same thing. It was probably a good opportunity for everyone, including you and Mr. Nichols. Mike said this with a rare, childlike smile. Dad, a friend at school asked why we sell used cars instead of new ones. I see. Well, let me tell you about my job. Then you can explain to your friends why used cars are great. Okay. The Nichols weren't inherently bad people. I respected them when I worked there. Justin had become a better person, facing everyone sincerely after reflecting on his actions. Mr. Nichols had spoiled and pampered Justin too much, leading to the company's downfall. Mr. Nichols hadn't reined in Justin's excesses, and Justin's misguided actions brought about the collapse. Because I care deeply about my own children, I'll be careful not to spoil them too much. Dad. Let's play soccer. Sure. I think that park over there allows ball games. I want to go to the park too. Alright, let's pack a lunch and have a picnic. Megan, you can come with Mommy. Okay. Mom's lunch is going to be great. Yes, it is. I'll cherish them but be mindful not to overindulge them. Leo, remember to apologize when you do something wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. Good boy. Megan, you too. I'm sorry. For the sake of their future. Alright, I'm heading out. Take care. Today, once again, I head to work, sent off by my beloved Sarah and our children.